when I was punching my biceps in bed and couldn't sleep and was like actively as a grown man whimpering and crying out. It was insane. I was literally yelling in my room, yelling, like screaming, like, God damn it. Like I was getting angry and flustered and angry that I couldn't stop aching.
How did you find out about 7-OH?
I had a good buddy of mine who has been on Kratom for probably a year and a half now. And he always kind of told us about it. He was having his issues with it, taking a shit ton. Like he lives in California, one of my best friends. And we have a group chat, me, him, and another buddy of mine. And he would always, I'm on this Kratom, I take it every day, yada, yada, yada. It was never even on my radar, just like, oh, that's cool. I've used it here and there. I had some white vein stuff I got every once in a while. And I almost took it like, oh, I have some Kratom, let me take a little bit. And it was almost like a coffee in the morning.
Right.
But it was nothing I was even really that familiar with. And then we were talking one day and he was like, man, I'm kind of on this 7-0 stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is 7-0? Like, what is that? He briefly kind of described it. He's like, it's from the Kratom tree. It's more, however they synthesize. I don't know what you do. It's concentrated. It's the active ingredient in Kratom. I don't even know. But he kind of told me about that, and he said it was kind of becoming a problem. It was like, hey, well, watch that. You talk about it if you want to talk about it. And then time went on, and probably a month later, he's like, yeah, it's kind of an issue. And I go, well, how much are you on?
What did he mean by an issue?
He, without giving too much up, he's in the healthcare profession, and he had an injury, had to get surgery, and he's off work. He went from being able to use Kratom and going to work to getting on 7-0 while not working, and it's constant and now it's needed, Mm-hmm. And I'm going, that's pretty interesting. Like it's something you can buy at the gas station at a smoke shop. You know what I mean? Like, okay. And he goes, yeah. And I asked him, I go, how much are you on? And he was taking at his peak like 110, 150 milligrams a day, which come to find out, you can buy packs that are 100 milligrams total. I mean, they'd say to take 10 as a serving. So that's obviously a shit ton. And we were talking and I decided, I was like, okay, well, there's no problem with it. I'm going to go check it out and see what the big deal is. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to try it and see what you're up against, because how does it make you feel? I did some reading and it said it's however many X times addictive than fentanyl and all that crap, right? So I was like, let me see. And once he kind of put it into my ether, I would see driving down the road, best deals 7-0, buy here, that kind of stuff, like on road signs on next to like legitimate businesses. And I'm like, let me see how strong this is, because nothing bad will happen. And I went to a place and I got a pack of, it was in like a little like, almost like a chapstick kind of thing. And it was 10 milligram little capsules. And for some reason, they're all like, you can chew them. There's no pills. They're not in pill form.
Were they flavored?
Yes. That one was cookies and cream. I still to this day have yet to chew them because it sounds disgusting. I just take them like a pill. But I took them like a pill, I should say. And it was 10 milligrams. And I got in the car that day. It was after work. And I was like, hey, look what I got. I go, I'm going to try this to see what it's about. You know what I mean? He's like, just be careful. But he told me, he's like, just take 10 and see how you feel. And I'm not going to do that because I'm a big guy and I know how to do drugs. So I took 10 and I went home. And I took 10 in the parking lot because I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be home in 6 minutes. Got home, probably 10 minutes after I got home, I took another 10. And dude, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, wow. Maybe 20, 30 minutes later, I'm going, shit, oh, shit, my nose is itching. I was like, this is making me feel a type of way.
Did it make you feel numb at all? Did it make you feel high at all? Besides the itch, it just explained the feeling, lightheaded, airy.
I've done pills back in my younger years. I tried pills here and there every once in a while, like recreationally as a teenager and young adult. Very similar to like if you were to take a pain pill. Very similar, especially the itchy and the like kind of, I don't know, skeezy is the best way I could feel it. It felt dirty. It felt like a dirty thing I was doing, right? Like I felt gross.
You feel it like in your gut and it's almost in your soul where
sweaty.
You tighten up a little bit.
Okay. And I didn't like it. Made me kind of like sweaty and just ugh. But it was very interesting because it really did. I even told him, I go, this is by far the strongest thing I've ever taken that you can buy legally ever. And like I've done salvia in the past and that all spice back in the day, tried it. You know what I mean? This stuff, it doesn't take you out of the reality, but it gets you high. It really blew me away that you could just like buy it.
Is it a paralyzing high?
No, it's like when it kind of puts you in a good mood almost. It's almost like having 2 or 3 shots and being like, oh, cool, right on. It's weird. You're just kind of ready. You can socialize on it. It's very weird, but you are high. Make no mistake. It's very opiate feeling, you know? But yeah, I did those and I was like, okay, I did that 20. And then I don't think I even touched it for like 2 or 3 days. And then I kind of like forgot about it. And I got home one day from work again and I go, oh, I have those. Let me try that. Took 20. And I was like, well, let me take another 10. 30 milligrams, right? High again, okay. And then however the other 4 or 5 I had left went, I don't really recall. But then I went to a different place that's closer to my house that had the yard sign right out front. And I got, I think it was like 240 milligrams, whatever it was. And it was 4 or 5 capsules quartered out, And
What flavor were those?
those were like strawberry cream or something, right? And I think I think the highest I ever got to on those was like 30 milligrams in a day. And this is all over the course of like 3.5 weeks, maybe a month. Like that's it. And did those and I realized, okay, well, I'm taking 20 to 30 every day right now this last week or whatever. And I was like, that's something I should probably pay attention to. Went and got a 400 and it was 580 milligram capsules. So do the math on that, 400 milligrams, whatever, right? And I would take them down and I'd have 20 poppers and I'd do 20 in the evening.
At any point, did you feel like a drug addict doing this?
No, it was really kind of weird. It was kind of weird. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of an issue. And where it really popped out to me was I casually ran out and I was like, well, that's not a big deal. I went to bed that night at 10 o'clock, whatever. I popped my 10 milligrams of melatonin and went to go lay down. And I was laying down for about 2 or 3 minutes and I'm like, get a little restless, And I'm like, God, I can't get comfortable. And then I'm starting to get achy and my my ankles and my biceps were aching to the point where I was like, the fuck? Like I started punching my biceps. Like, what's going on right now? Like, what the hell? Long story short, that entire night, I was up the entire night. I took 3 showers, like bath showers, and was sitting there letting water hit me. Every time I would do that, I'd go to lay down and bed was like, oh yeah, I'm good to go. 2 or 3 minutes in, I'd get this nasty, achy shit. My pillow was wet. I was sweaty, just disgusting. And that night was really disturbing. That night told me I get how, it put things in perspective. Like when you tell people it's like, well, just chain yourself to a radiator and stop doing drugs. Holy crap. Like it wasn't the aches and the unsettledness was like nothing I've ever experienced ever. And that's when I realized, okay, that's pretty intense. So what I did was I had a little bit, I went the next day, I bought a pack of 240 milligrams. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. First off, let me break this 7 it was 30 milligram capsules. So quartered out. So it was 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Broke one and took a quarter, 7.5 to take the edge off in the morning. First time I'd ever done that. But I had to. I felt unwell and weird. Like I was withdrawing, legitimate withdrawing. Like I didn't feel good in the morning. And so I took that and then I decided I'm going to take 15 milligrams for like 3 or 4 nights. And then I'm going to go to 7.5. And after like 5 days, I was able to stop and I got decent enough sleep. And I'm never going to touch that again because that was insane to me that, like I told you before this, I feel goofy because like it's less than a month. I didn't like do enough to hit somebody and go to prison. I didn't do any skeezy weirdo stuff, but it was such a weird, brief experience that it really was kind of mind blowing. It really was because I've never experienced that level of discomfort and grossness. And
so you never experienced a withdrawal like that before?
Never in my life. I've only had like experience with alcohol, weed, things like that, the normie stuff. You know what I mean? I've tried other things in my life, of course, but never had a problem with them. But this stuff was weird.
When did it register going through these withdrawals that this is what I'm actually going through withdrawals from?
When I was punching my biceps in bed and couldn't sleep and was like actively as a grown man whimpering and crying out. It was insane. I was literally yelling in my room. Yelling, like screaming, like, God damn it. Like I was getting angry and flustered and angry that I couldn't stop aching.
So what does the ache compare to if you could compare it to anything else you've ever experienced in life, what would you compare it to?
Light voltage going to your muscles, and to make it stop, you have to do something to them. Move, stretch it, push it, squeeze it, something. And it's as soon as you're done and you're like, okay, it's going to come back in within 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And you have to do something. I would assume like extreme restless leg syndrome, but in your body. Oh, that day I did something to my finger, hitting it on something when I was writhing around, sprained finger. My ankles were achy the next day. It was disgusting. During that, I went on a plane trip for work, and I had taken some the night before, and I had to wake up really early, so I didn't get my normal set of sleep. I took it at 9 p.m. or whatever, 10 p.m., and went to bed like I normally was the whole time. I just take it at night, right? And I woke up at like 4 because I had to take an early red eye, like 5 in the morning was my flight, 5:30. And I was on the plane, and I was like sweaty, and I was like, this is fucking gross, dude. I felt disgusting. And that was part of me going, okay, this is something I need to stop. Within a week of that is when I had ran out naturally, and that night happened. And then as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, I know I need to get some in me first off, because I don't want to feel like this anymore, but I have to like regimentally stop. And I think if like my buddy, it's really sad because where he's at right now, we just talked yesterday, and he's at about 60 milligrams a day. But he knows he needs to stop, and he's going to come up with a plan. And I'm trying to help him, but I can't push him into it. You know how that goes. But dude, how that felt, I wouldn't wish that on my enemy, dude. That was bad. It was bad. So I knew I needed to stop. And luckily, only being a couple weeks in, I know I was addicted to it, whatever that is, whether it is an opiate or whatever, I don't know, but I was addicted to it physically addicted. I wasn't deep enough down the rabbit hole to where it was like dangerous for me to cold turkey, but I also can't go 3 nights without sleep, aching and punching my body and freaking out. I can't. So I made the decision, okay, let me do this. I talked to my girlfriend. I told her, this is what I'm going to do. This is how much I have. 3 days of this, 5, 6 days of this, whatever that math was, and I'm done. And I did it, but it was nuts. It was freaking nuts that you could buy it at. They advertise it next to my gym. Like my gym is here. There's a fucking smoke shop right here that says, best deals in town, buy it. And they have 25 different packages of it, different stuff, different brands. And it's mind blowing. It was mind blowing. It's crazy.